Each of our readings today, January 4th, is worthy of careful reflection. The first from the first letter of John, "Beloved, let us love one another because love is of God." Or the second, Jesus, seeing the vast crowd, his heart moved with pity for them, multiplying the loaves and fishes. But I'd like to focus today on our entrance antiphon from Proverbs, as it refers to today's memorial of St. Elizabeth Ann Seton. Behold a wise woman who has built her house. She feared the Lord and walked in the right path. Not only does this offer insight into her life, but I feel it also can serve as invitation to each of us, women and men, to be wise, fear the Lord, and walk in the right path. Elizabeth Ann Seton is credited with being the founder of the parochial school system in the United States, as well as building and shaping American Catholicism, according to the recent book, A History of American Catholicism. Raised in the Episcopal Church, she was married and had 5 children. When she was 31, her husband was forced to declare bankruptcy and 3 years later died of TB. She converted to Catholicism, then returned to the United States to be met with strong anti-Catholic prejudice among friends and family and her social network. Penniless, she was invited to open a school for boys in Baltimore, but when their parents discovered she was Catholic, they removed their sons from the school. So she then opened a school for girls in Emmitsburg, Maryland, and a year later founded the Sisters of Charity of St. Joseph. It may be difficult for us today to imagine the virulence of anti-Catholic sentiment in many quarters at that time. She met many roadblocks, not only from lay people, but also from clergy, including bishops, as she worked to open schools, provide for the sick, and care for orphans. For those of us familiar with Catholic schools, I wonder, how often do we consider their impact on our lives, let alone on our Catholic culture in the United States? More importantly, how often do we consider the sacrifice and devotion of those religious women, fearing the Lord and walking a difficult path, serving generations of children, perhaps including many of us? Not to exclude those lay women as well as men who today give up more lucrative careers to teach in our parochial schools and religious education programs. The book of Proverbs enumerates many qualities of a wise woman: righteous, that is, in right relationship with God; industrious, good, kind, loving, worth far more than rubies; a tall order. What is the invitation then for us women? Some of us find our ministry in the fields of education, medicine, social work, and other forms of service. And a good many of us dedicate much of our lives to raising children and grandchildren, nieces, nephews, and other family members. And still others of us discern a call to serve alongside and even as a member of the clergy. So perhaps an invitation for those of us women and men who do not feel called to priestly service is to offer those women support. That is, to listen, pray, and hope with them. And yet another invitation may be to give thanks for any and all women and men who minister and have ministered to us through teaching, nursing, and other forms of social service. Back to our antiphon for today's liturgy. May we, women and men, be graced to find our own way to wisdom, as Elizabeth Seton found hers. And may we support others as they discern theirs, however groundmaking those may be.